Hello and welcome, you lovely, lovely people. I'm Michael from Bennetts BikeSocial, and you join me here with the Honda PCX125. Now, I shall hold my hand up and I shall admit I'm normally very, very excited by the motorbikes that make 150 odd horsepower and are all leery and go fast on the circuits. But in my role, I've got to be flexible enough to make sure that I'm reviewing every single motorbike there is. And that includes, well, the most popular powered two-wheeler in the country and all the way across Europe as well. Paris, Rome, Milan and so on. Because it's a bargain. It's an absolute steal to buy. It's an absolute gem to run as well in terms of finances. So this will set you back, if you wanted to go and buy it from your local Honda dealership right now, £2,929, less than £3,000 for this outright. If you want a PCP deal, it's £155 down and you're paying around about £50 a month for 3 years, and you've got £1,000 to pay at the end of that. Once you've bought it, it's still very, very cheap to run as well. So it's super economical, it's super versatile, it's like the ideal commuter bike. If you're doing less than, let's say, 20 miles to work and back, it's fantastic. I don't know why more people don't embrace it in this country. 134 miles to the gallon is the claim, 8-litre tank. On an average UK fuel pump price today, that's going to be less than £10 to fill up. If you're riding like me, you're going to get around 102, 103 mpgs, what I've got over the last 68 miles worth that I've covered on this yesterday and today. And that's going to be good enough for about 160, 170 miles out of one tank. What more do you need? So that's less than a tenner for 170, 180 miles, let's say. And if you're a bit more careful with it, you can easily get over 200 miles. And what's more is you've got all the funky stuff that comes with it. It's got digital display, it's got LED headlights, it's got an acre of space underneath the seat, space on the back for a pillion, these little pillion pegs. Look, everything about this bike is really well designed. It's neat, it's stylish, it's funky, and it's an absolute gem. So how about we go and take a ride?
I like being on the scooter. It is a lot of fun. All right, here we go. Let's go and enjoy some of the sights of Peterborough. So the PCX125, as we've already said, very versatile, very comfortable, the ideal town bike. Now Honda claims that you can get a full face helmet under there, and I'm sure you can, except my colleague John tried his Shoei Neotech underneath there. Nope, that wasn't any good. I put my AGV Sport Modular under there. Yes, you can get the seat closed, but it very much rubs on the top of it. I don't suppose you would ever compare a 125 scooter with a Moto 3 bike, but any low capacity race bike, that's all about momentum. You've got to carry corner speed, especially if you're getting onto a big long straight. You've got to carry that speed. Same goes for a 125 scooter. You've got to carry plenty of speed if you want to get from A to B pretty quickly. Whoa, yeah, look at that, nimble. Don't know whether you saw that big pothole in the road. Managed to avoid it. So light, this thing. 14-inch wheels back and front, and it darts around like a little hoverfly. Yes, you don't necessarily buy a scooter like this for its outright performance. It's all about economy. It's all about how far you can get on one tank full of juice. Anyway, so if you've got some dual carriage to ride on, the style of the bike, the shape of the front of the bike, it might look a bit stylish, but it does mean there's quite a bit of wind flow and airflow coming through onto your legs. Now, on a colder day, you've got a few options. One, wear more clothes. Two, get one of those little granny blankets. I don't believe that's a technical term. Or three, buy something else. That said, there's quite a bit of space around here. You're not feeling restricted. You can dangle your legs out. And in terms of weather protection, wind protection, this screen is teeny tiny and does very little. It might look the part, but if you're going to be an all-weather rider, i.e. regardless of whether it's raining or not, And if you want a bit of wind protection too, then I'd definitely recommend the extra screen. That's about I think it's a £195 option. It's mega. I really enjoy riding it because even though I've had a full license for 15 odd years now, and I'm familiar with riding much larger capacity, larger powered motorbikes, I don't get complacent when riding like this. But equally, I do see it as quite a challenge to make the most of its practicality. You know, it's tiny, it's nimble, it's lightweight. You've got this space under the seat. You've even got this little cubby hole here with a 12-volt socket. You can buy a top box of this as well. So it's got all the things you'd expect from, you know, a versatile commuter bike. Cheapest chips to run as well. It's fantastic value. Well, the downsides are, well, one, I don't think I'd end up buying one for mainly for the reason that I quite like to have that extra little bit of power when I need it. Like if I'm going for an overtake or if I'm trying to dart out from a junction, just it gives you that peace of mind that you've got that extra power if you want to go, rather than having to work at it. Then you've got to take the rough with the smooth, really, haven't you? You know, if you don't want to be paying too much money for it, then you take your compromise. That under-seat storage, there might be a lot of space under there, but there's no way you can get a full, well, I can't get my full face helmet under there without the seat touching on the helmet. Yeah, and thirdly, if for whatever reason it doesn't start on the electric ignition, perhaps the battery's out of juice or whatever, you haven't got a kickstart. Equally, it's, you know, modern day technology, you don't tend to worry about that kind of stuff so much. And the battery's not that difficult to access either. Now, here we are testing this bike in the middle of, well, early in February, and it's impressing. I think if we were sitting here in the middle of June or July and it's a beautiful day, I'd be just as impressed. There is little surprise about the fact that this powered two-wheeler is the most popular in the UK. And even more popular across Europe. They sell by the bucket load. Tell you what, it might not be the ideal day for a bit of speed testing, but let's see what the PCX has got to offer, shall we? Let's go and find a bit of dual carriageway, see what we can get out of it. Great little layout on the digital display. Looks modern, looks neat. Got your speedo, clock, fuel gauge, MPG average, and your odometer as well. 68 miles an hour? Come on! Alright, let's tuck in. 69. 70. 70. Can you see it? Oh. Back to 69. Maybe it's because we were slipstreaming the Renault. Oh, 68! This is not going so well. It's like the commuter Grand Prix, isn't it? The challenge of getting from A to B as fast as you can is just as fun on a 125 scooter as it is on a Fireblade. This thing is brilliant. Just need a bit more weather protection.
Here is the Honda PCX125, the 125cc single cylinder liquid cooled 4-stroke 2-valve twist and go scooter from Honda. Not many people talk about power and performance when talking about a twist and go scooter. It's more about economy and how versatile it is and how much you can get under the seat. Nevertheless, 12 brake horsepower is what you're equipped with. That's peak power at about 8,000 RPM. So long as it does above 60 comfortably, which it does, then you're not going to get yourself into too much mischief. You do need to carry a bit of momentum around with you, so if you're going to go for an overtake, you've got to plan it quite nicely. £2,929. This rivals the Yamaha N-Max, which is a little bit more expensive at 3,174, and Piaget's Medley, that's new for 2020, is 3,299. Now they reckon they can get 2 full face lids under their seat, but I reckon you can only get 1 under the PCX. Comes in 4 colours, red, black, grey and white. Whether you are strapping it to the back of the motorhome, whether you're using it to get to work, it just makes perfect sense over public transport. This A1 license friendly scooter is so practical, it's economical, it's stylish, it's comfortable, it's great value for money. Yes, I would probably have heated grips if I was going to use it as an all-weather, all-year-round bike, and they would cost an extra £295 as an official extra. I would also have a bigger screen because I don't think that's going to protect you from any kind of rain. That's a £190 option. And it's got such a great lock-to-lock steering angle. It's so manoeuvrable, so versatile. If you're looking at buying one of these, I would just test that fact in and around the car park at the dealership, just to make sure that you're comfortable with holding that weight. Make sure you do your test ride on the roads that you're familiar with. I would also make sure that you're comfortable getting on and off the bike. It's not a step through, it's a step over. It's an all-in-one seat with 2 levels, so the rider sits against a lip, which is in between him and the pillion. It's got a steering lock, so once you've got the steering lock on and take the key out, that covers where you put your key. But it's a nice little extra security device. It's got that clever little idling stop system. It's like an auto stop start. So when you pull up to the lights and you've got it activated, then it'll cut out after a couple of seconds and then it'll just fire straight back up again as soon as you twist the throttle. It adds that extra bit of economy to the ride as well. You've got a tidy little bit of storage space as well on the left-hand side underneath the left-hand handlebar. And that's got a 12-volt power outlet in it as well. It's stylish, it's very comfortable, it's versatile. It's got those LED lights. I rode it at night recently and the spread of the light is really good. It's very, very wide. ABS on the front, it's got a 220mm single disc, very competent. At the rear, it's just got a 130mm drum brake and there's no ABS on that, so you can lock the rear tire to your heart's content. Michelin's come on this bike as standard. Not quite sure how much you can get under the seat. I mean, they claim a full face helmet, which we've seen, that's evident. Golf balls, golf balls, golf balls. Right, I've come down to Elton First Golf Club. We're not going to worry about how many beans we can get in there. Let's see how many golf balls we can get in there. That's on fuel or seat. Click seat, take this out. How many balls can we fit under there before we can't get the seat? Two. Right, oh, we can still get that. We need more. Right, we're not going to get many more in there without and still be able to shut it. Ah, that's it. And the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. $59.60. The answer is 363 golf balls will fit under there and you can still get it closed. So overall, I loved the cost-effective motoring, I loved the lightweight handling, I loved the Honda build quality. On the downside, there's that lower leg weather protection. And it's a shame about the under seats or a full face helmet thing, because if I went to buy this bike and I already had that helmet, then I'd be a bit reluctant to start squashing it in. And also heated grips and taller screen are pretty necessary if you are going to be travelling all the way around the year. Thanks for joining me. You can read the full review at bikesocial.co.uk. Cheers. Golf balls, golf balls, golf balls, golf balls. Oh, now we snookered.
Here we go, PCX125. We're going to do some onboard now. Hopefully it'll work. And like last time, when I spent an hour riding around Peterborough, talking to it, and nothing recorded.